Now for the most important part of the day, make a cup of tea. Now I've got to try and remember how these things work. Do you know what, guys, I'm feeling so lucky that I've been able to take some time out my morning to be able to stop, look out over here and grab a cup of tea, and let's just see how lucky I am. Nice. Right guys, now we've got the most important thing out of the way, a cup of tea. I've managed to pull over for a little bit. It's been a couple of weeks now since we last fitted out this van, so hopefully you've seen that video. And I just want to walk through with you. I've got some tools in there and show you actually how this setup works, go through some of the boxes and show you some of the things that Sortimo has to offer. So let's have a look in the back of the van. So you've already seen me making best use of the new SR5 vise, but it's not entirely what it's for, holding your tea. But this is a really neat addition to the range, you know, for holding, clamping. They're not massively heavy duty. You wouldn't want to get hydraulic rams on there and try and undo it, but for grinding, filing and general undoing, they're a real great addition to the van. So that folds away really nicely out the way, and you've still got plenty of space down here. Moving on to this near side shelving unit, down at the bottom here we have the drop down flap, which is a great way to section off the wheel arch area, and as you can see we've got a couple of batteries in there. That just keeps them nicely out of the way, and I kind of use that for stuff that's kind of in transit, so parts, stock like that. And actually I haven't even started to fill these sides yet, so we are getting there with it. So going up to the next level, we have these 6 T-boxes on the multi-slide. Now these multi-slides can hold up to 25 kilos, which is great when you've got one of these bigger L-boxes on there, but with the T-boxx, these hold approximately 12 kilos of weight, which is more than enough when you've got screws and accessories in there. Now in here you can see I've got a multitude of screws, keeps them nice and divided, and we've got the extra dividers in there to make these boxes a lot smaller. So this is great for just grabbing a few bits out, but of course what you can do, take the whole thing out, nothing's going to get mixed up, take that onto site. There's a few different versions of that in terms of inserts. So that one had the squarer ones, these ones have got longer inserts where you can put longer tools, and then we've got one with multiple inserts. So you've got the smaller ones, medium, and then the larger squares, but they can all be divided up even smaller. So if your stock changes, you need to get some smaller stuff in there, some bigger stuff. These are really adaptable. Great bit of kit. Moving up next, we've got a flat shelf with a drop down front. These are really useful to kind of getting stuff in when you're quite close to the shelf above. So it's really nice that you don't have to try and lift up over the top of the shelf. And we'll show you on the offside here as well how useful that is. And just in here to fill the gaps, really useful space. I've got a high lip shelf and a low lip shelf, and actually I've got my hand wipes, gloves, everything on there, and we'll show you in a minute round from the side. That just means you can come round and grab them as you need. Now moving on up, we have the SR-boxes. Now these on the SR5 can be overslung and underslung, making the best use of a shelf. If you remember from previous videos on the Globelyst, these boxes had to sit on top of the shelf, so actually to have this same setup would be 2 shelves worth. It's a real good cost and weight saving in this new system. Now in here you can get plenty of stuff inside, and they can be divided up too. So I can show you one of these top ones. This is one of the medium boxes. Here we have one of the larger boxes with a divider in there. And these are the extra large boxes. Plenty of space in there. Now what we'll be doing in a future video as well is showing the labelling system on these. So at the moment I've got stuff in there, I kind of know where they are, but actually with the labelling system you're going to have to just have a quick check, which is great when you're working with other people. You want to send the apprentice back to the van, you want to know exactly where that part is and he's not ripping it all apart. Let's just have a look around onto the other side of the van and have a look at the L-boxes. So again, on the driver's side of the van, we've got another drop down flap, and then on these multi-slides we have got the L-boxx. Now this is carrying a load of weight. So these L-boxes can hold up to 12 kilos of weight, and just remembering these are 25 kilo multi-slides, so it's going to take a lot to overload these. It's always better to have a bit more and not have to use it. You know, you're going to be making sure you're not going to be bending those sliders out. In here, as you can see with the deeper box, we've got some stuff underneath there. So these are our bracket fixings for fitting in the racking, which you would have seen in the last video, and plenty of spares in top. So not only can I come to the back of the van and just grab a piece out, if I am working away from the van and I can't get nearby, I can take these out. That's a pretty heavy box there, but obviously if I wanted to have two of these, rather than take up a number of hands, these stack together really nicely and they can be carried onto site. So you can stack as many of those as you can manage to carry. I'm not sure what the maximum is until you're going to be hitting the floor, but really useful way of transporting tools from the van off site. What I found useful for these as well, you know, shelves are great for holding stuff that you need easy access to, but if the van needs to go into the workshop for a day, you can easily unload this. You know, it wouldn't take me more than 20 minutes to completely unload this van. That's the beauty of having boxes over just having shelves. You know, imagine you need to get everything off the shelves, that's going to take quite a lot of time. So I quite like having everything nice and neat in boxes. And again, you know, with these, you can label them up, which we will show in a future video. Let's get these back on here. Cool, that one is heavy. I'll have to check I'm not overloading that one, because I don't know if that feels more than 12 kilos. Going up to the top, we've got another drop down shelf. I've got some spares on there at the moment, got my cable reel. And actually, while we're talking about that, looking at the end of the racking, you can see these slots all the way down, and the new Pro Click accessories actually fit into these slots, which makes it easily maneuverable. So you can see with this one, I can easily slot that one out, slot it into another slot if I need to. And there's a whole range of accessories like that that are easy fit, easy take off, so you can adapt the van as you need it, which can change on a weekly basis. So let's hop round to the side, have a look at the front bench and the front part of the racking. So as you can see, I was talking about my hand wipes, gloves and everything like that. They're nicely tucked around the corner here, so I can reach in, grab a torch if I need it. I can also grab a pair of gloves on my hand wipes. So it's kind of useful to have stuff quite close to hand, so you're not having to climb in the van all the time. Now here we have a custom made bench unit, which you've already seen is great for making a cup of tea and boiling up some water. And I've already started to fill these, so you can see you've got the insert boxes here, and we're going to be doing another video on the foam inserts. We can actually get custom foam inserts, so rather than having a bunch of spanners in one of these, we can actually have these laid out nicely in the drawer. I'm really looking forward to doing that and testing out the system. We've got a couple of size drawers here. So here we have a deeper drawer, and then we have the next size down, shallower drawers. So this is where I come and grab a lot of my tools. Very easy access, and you can see here as well we have the new Pro Click bag, which also fits into that. That can also fit into a belt clip there. And down here we have our rattle can holder. Again, really good easy access from there. It's all about not having to get in and out the van all the time and be able to get the tools as you need it. So looking over to the driver's side front of the racking, we've got a high lip shelf here, which I've got some of my tools on there. Another high lip shelf, yet to fill that one up. And then we're dropping down next to another drop front shelf. Now, this is where it really comes into its own. You know, imagine that I had to lift that box off there over that shelf, I would have to have a greater gap here. So this means you can just sandwich things that a little bit closer together, and I can slide that off. Now again, we'll go into this on a separate video, but as you can see here, this is one of the new Sortimo Pro Click bags. You can click batteries onto the side, there's lots of pockets there, and actually these also fit into the L-boxx, but we'll keep the Pro Click range and accessories to another video. We'll go into those in more detail, but this has been a massively improved range that they've added to it, and I find this really helpful because majority of the tools I use on a daily basis are in here. I can just grab this out and go straight onto site. As you can see, that nice and easily goes back in there. And then we got another drop down front here. We've got some other items like our diagnostic equipment and some spare boxes there. Another addition to this van that I've put in that we didn't have in the previous one is a high level Prosafe rail. So with this high level Prosafe rail, one thing I found I had an issue with last time is sometimes we have to carry sheets of ply. Now the beauty of this long wheelbase Transit Custom is I can get sheets of ply, and that's why we've purposely left a gap down this side of the unit. They'll slide right into the bulkhead. But what I had issues with is strapping it in. So I've now got a high level Prosafe rail in there, which I can go up and over and down and actually hold sheets of ply hard up against here. That's going to stop them moving around in the van, clonking, cracking, and actually worse, making a mess of this nice new racking. So a real good addition for me was this high level shelf, and I've got one down here and one on each side, so there's plenty of strapping areas in this van to stop things moving around and smashing the place up. So the last thing I want to point out here is the new Sortimo SoboPro floor. Now these are great, they come ready cut, they're laser cut, and they fit down with brackets, so they don't screw or bolt down to the main floor of the van. So that means when removing them, you're not going to do any damage. And also the Pro floor comes with these extra tie downs, and you can actually use that versus the original tie downs in the van. That's going to make sure that you're going to be strapping stuff down again and not smashing the place up. Really good addition to the van, easy to clean, hard wearing too. Well, thank you very much for joining us on this little stopover. I hope you really enjoyed the video, and if you've got any questions about some of the stuff we've gone through, please don't hesitate to ask them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer your questions. And if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell, because we've got some videos coming up soon. We're going to go through that labelling system and the foam inserts. So thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.